Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sarah Lemmy with Eastern Roots Wellness and Acupuncture Clinic in McLean, Virginia. I just wanted to wish you all a happy Lunar New Year. And yes, I know the Lunar New Year was technically this past Wednesday, January 29th. However, the Lunar New Year is often celebrated for 15 days. So I technically have until February 12th to post a video about the Lunar New Year. And again, I'm just really excited with everything that is in the forecast for this year's Lunar New Year. So I really wanted to make sure that I did estimate this information out to you, as well as let you know what TCM or traditional Chinese medicine has to do with Lunar New Year. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So 2025 is the year of the wood snake. And again, there's a couple of different reasons why I'm really excited about this year in particular, even though it's already started off to a bit of a hectic start. That's okay. There's a lot in store for us this year. So in traditional Chinese medicine, the Lunar New Year is a time of renewal and an opportunity to align with nature's cycles for our better health and harmony. Again, in Chinese medicine, we say that nature cycles through the seasons. And as we know, there are seasons, right? Right now we're in winter. Technically, we're about to be in late winter, and then coming up ahead is early spring. Right, so the Lunar New Year is a type of celebration or transition from late winter into early spring. And there's a couple things we can do from the Chinese medicine perspective to help us really prep our body for spring so that we're good to go, our health is optimized. But there's also some things depending on the zodiac, the element that's being celebrated this year that we can really do to, we like to say, to enhance our chances of prosperity and growth, that sort of thing. So I want to go ahead and dive into what this year has in store for us and how we can best support our well-being during the seasonal transition from late winter, again, February, if you're watching this, into early spring, so March sort of time. And again, this is really more particularly for those of us who live in climates that, well, have different seasons, right? So the significance of the Lunar New Year in traditional Chinese medicine. So the Lunar New Year symbolizes a pivotal shift in the natural cycle of life, right? It falls during the late winter when the energy of a nature begins or moves, I should say, from the stillness of the winter, which is the most yin season we have. So think about winter. It's cold, it's windy, right? We want to contract and go inwards, but it's starting to move into what we call a more yang phase. A yang is more active, more outward, right? And so we think about going from say like February, January, even into March. It's not as cold, it's not as windy. So we're starting to kind of expand, to kind of come out of our homes a little bit, if you will, right? So again, we have the stillness of winter and we're moving into the renewal and growth of spring, right? We're starting to see things kind of like come out of the ground, those sorts of things. So in traditional Chinese medicine, this transition is an ideal time to conserve energy, reflect inward, and prepare for the vibrant activity that will be in the year ahead. So again, in a lot of Asian cultures, the 29th this year is the Lunar New Year. This is the time where we have that shift in calendars or seasons. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the year of the wood snake. Every year we move through one of 12 zodiac animals, and we also move through one of 5 elements. So in elements, we could have water, we have wood, we have fire, we have earth, and we have metal. This year, again, we're going to have the wood, and then we're going to have the snake zodiac. So what does 2025 going to usher in for us? Well, this is a year that's going to symbolize renewal, introspection, and personal growth. The snake in Chinese medicine, astrology embodies wisdom, intuition, and transformation. Here's a quick overview of what the year might bring for you. And again, 2025 is supposed to be particularly auspicious because not only are we stepping into the year of the wood snake, but this new year, it fell on the 29th, which was a new moon for 2025, a time of fresh beginnings and releasing what no longer serves us. And if that wasn't powerful enough, 2025 is also year 9 in numerology. If you add 2 and 2 and 5, right, from 2025, you get 9. And 9 in numerology is a marking of transformation, wisdom, and completion. So again, 2025 is a very auspicious year just because if you take into consideration the element, you take into consideration the animal, you take into consideration the number part of it, the numerological part of it, right? So again, in numerology, we have the number 9, 2025, and 9 is the number of completion, wisdom, and shedding the old, right? Like with the snake, to make space for something new. It's a year of wrapping up unfinished business, some things that were going on in winter, perhaps things that were going on in 2024. stepping into our true purpose and preparing for a fresh cycle ahead. That pairs beautifully with the wood snake, which represents transformation, patience, and deep insight. So what does that mean for all of us, kind of in general for 2025? This year is about embracing change with grace and strategy. So again, it's about letting go of that which no longer serves us and moving forward, but making sure we have a strategy to move forward with. And again, that might be holding on to patience for the right time for change. So again, just like a snake shedding its skin, it's a time for personal and spiritual growth, making thoughtful choices and aligning with what truly matters to us, both personally, professionally, maybe on a community or large scale level. And then with the wood element, we're encouraged to stay flexible but strong, to nurture new opportunities and to keep growing. What I keep hearing from some of my colleagues and friends who are more into this than I am is that this is a really good year that's going to mark the start of changes, right? So we've already seen a lot of changes coming, but even more changes are going to come. This may be the start for something even bigger, right? So whatever starts now may reach its end, or it's making room for something even bigger. So basically, I'm telling everyone hope. Hope should be your word for 2025, because again, we're going to be finding purpose. We're going to be changing. We're going to be letting go of things that no longer serve us to welcome in things that do serve us, right? So we're making room for something that will be good for us. So, and just because I kind of want to make sure I reach out to everyone in particular, I would like to tell you what 2025 is going to bring for each of your zodiac signs. If you need to know what your zodiac sign is, you can simply Google your birth date, your birth year, I should say. However, for those of you born in late January or early February, like myself, you need to also see what date the Lunar New Year fell that year. Because like for me, I was born on the 1st of February, but because the Lunar New Year was like, I think on the 4th or the 6th of February that year, I'm technically not in like say 1986, but I fall in 1985, even though the Western calendar says my birth date was 86. So technically I'm an ox versus a tiger. So again, just go to look at your birth year, and then if you're on like the cusp, like January, February, just to see when the Lunar New Year fell. So if you are a rat for 2025, career advancements and improved relationships are in your scope. For the ox, professional success and emotional stability. Tiger, financial opportunities and personal growth. The rabbit, success and endeavors and harmonious relationships. Dragon, personal growth and new opportunities. Snake, again, the year of the snake, challenges in career and finances, but health and positivity will be key. So I will say this, usually when it's the year of your zodiac annual, that's usually a year of challenge for you. But again, good growth and transformation can come from that. All right, up next, the horse, success in career and relationships. Goat, wealth and recognition. Monkey, balance charm with wisdom to strengthen relationships. Rooster, overcome love challenges with communication. Dog, improvements in personal relationships and career. And then pig, personal growth and new opportunities. All right, and some ways to enjoy and celebrate the new year. We want to decorate with lucky colors. Obviously, a lot of people use red. They think red and overall is auspicious, but because it's the year of the snake, we want to do greens and browns to attract good fortune to us. Traditional foods, dumplings for wealth, fish for prosperity, rice cakes for status. We want to participate in cultural activities. A lot of people took Wednesday off, and they're still taking it off, I think, until like the 4th or the 6th this year. They do a lot of dragon and lion dances, fireworks, red envelopes, gifting that bring luck, ward off negativity. And again, people will often keep these decorations up for the full 15 days after the Lunar New Year, if not all year. Some people will have something kind of symbolizing the snake to kind of keep in their home and office, feng shui, that sort of thing. All right. So that's not kind of just some fun, silly stuff, right? Again, there are plenty of people out there who really can go in depth about what each year brings in terms, again, this year in terms of the wood snake, easy enough to find. But for me, I'm really just here because I want to talk to you about your health for 2025 and how this is a really good time to focus on it, because what we do right now and late winter will really affect not only how we are in the next few months, but how we are during summer, the fall, that sort of thing, right? And I know for a lot of us, especially in the Northern Virginia, DC area, it's a really hectic couple of months, right? November, December, January, it's really been a bit of a bang. A lot of us have been sick. It's been cold. So let's take a pause. Let's take some time and really see if we can't help our bodies get a little bit better. With that said, I made a couple of slides, nothing too crazy, but basically, again, year of the wood snake. Snake, it's the wood element, which is up and out. It's about taking action, but again, strategic action, renewal, introspection, and personal growth. Now, Again, this is where we're going to bring in acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine. So as I've mentioned before, we are transitioning from late winter, so January, February, into early spring. I should note that whenever there are seasonal transitions, so this is one of them. Also, when we go from like spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, those are times when our bodies can be a little shaky. We can be more vulnerable to catching a cold, just again, because our bodies like things to be stable. We like things to have a balance, right? So when we're shifting from one climate or shifting from one temperature to another, our bodies can have a little bit of trouble kind of catching up and rebalancing. So, all right. So with that said, NTCM harmonizing with the seasonal cycles is essential for maintaining our health as well as our peace of mind, right? So late winter, February, focuses on nourishing what we call the kidneys. So the kidneys and the bladder are organs that are associated with the winter and preserving warmth, while the early spring, March in this case, it emphasizes detoxifying the liver, and the liver and the gallbladder are organs associated with the spring and preparing for renewal, which kind of makes sense, right? Winter is all about going inward, right? And restoring or storing our energy, which we can think about our adrenals and our kidney, where spring is about going forward, moving on from things. And we think about the liver, it's about detoxifying or get rid of, right? It's more action oriented. All right. So with that said, late winter or February. So focus again. We want to support our kidneys and conserve our core energy. Okay. Some recommended foods. Warm and nourishing. So we want bone broth, black sesame seeds, walnuts, lamb, and root vegetables. And again, any kind of warm, lightly cooked root vegetables are going to be fantastic. So potatoes, carrots, those sorts of things. Okay. Seaweed is also really good. Okay. So with like kelp or nori. And again, that's going to help tonify our kidneys. And again, and in Chinese medicine, those are kind of like our root energy sources. Okay. Or our adrenal system. So herbs, some really good herbs to kind of help us through the end of this cold season, right? We want warming herbs. So there's ginger. Ginger warms the body. It aids in digestion. We have goji berries. They nourish our kidney, yin, and blood. And then we have other things that kind of help to nourish the kidney yang. Cooking methods, we want stews, soups, slow cooked dishes to preserve warmth. So if you've got a crock pot, make sure you've got that still out, okay? Don't put it away just yet. So at a time when nature begins to shift from the stillness of winter toward the renewal of spring. And then again, this is a symbolic of movement of yin. So cold, limited, or more inward energy to warm, yang, outward energy. We want to emphasize different things. And again, guys, just so you know, I am going to take my transcript and I'm going to tweak it a little bit and I'm going to put it in a post so that you can go to it if you are interested in what I'm saying and some of my tips. So just FYI, I know I'm kind of like moving through this really quickly, but again, I will tweak my transcript or what I'm saying to you all right now, and I promise that I will put in an article on my website. All right. So with that said, as winter transitions into spring, Chinese medicine emphasizes harmonizing with nature's cycle to maintain health. And so when we finish up with February again, so it's cold, much of nature is still inwards where we don't see it. Again, we want to do things to kind of support that. However, when we get into early spring, March, so things start warming up, we see animals start to peek out, we see plants starting to bloom or come through the soil. There's some things we want to do. So dietary adjustments, right? We want to shift from heavy warming foods to lighter, fresh produce. We want to incorporate green vegetables to support the liver function and aid the body's natural detoxification process. Again, thinking about shedding the old, right? We're going to anything we had that was a little too much in winter, we want to go ahead and get rid of it, and we want to aid the body in being able to do so. Physical activity. So I forgot to say this, but in winter, we do still want to be physical, but we want it to be like light, gentle, those sorts of things, more open-ended or soft style exercises like stretching or yoga. But now that we're getting into March, we don't want to go crazy full on marathon mode, but we do want to start to get more active, right? So we want to engage in gentle exercises like Tai Chi, Qigong, or yoga to start stimulating the energy flow. Again, we've been more contracted when we want to ease into movement and enhance flexibility. So strong but flexible, right? Like the wood element. And again, these practices, again, support the body's transition and promote overall well-being. The focus, early March, we want to detoxify the liver. We want to align with more upward, up and out energy. Again, think about wood, it's up and out. Recommended foods in particular. Again, I already said like green vegetables in general, but we can also do sprouts, citrus fruits, sour is the taste of the wood element in Chinese medicine, leafy greens, Whole grains like quinoa and barley, it has grounding energy. Fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, again, to support digestion. Herbs, all right, milk thistle, we know about that. It supports liver detoxification. Dandelion root, same as milk thistle, but also helps to clear heat and supports digestion. It's really good for women's health overall. And then we also have peppermint. It's a little bit more cooling than ginger, but it supports and soothes the liver and promotes smooth qi flow. Cooking methods, we want to go from transition to steaming, blanching, and light stir frying. Again, so maybe a little bit lighter cooking methods, okay? All right, tips for setting intentions. Again, for the start of new projects, those sorts of things. So the new year is a time to set intentions for health and well-being. So we want to make sure we use this time that we have left before March gets here to reflect on our goals, that we align with them with the energy of renewal, and consider incorporating some TCM or traditional Chinese medicine practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, or yoga in order to just start moving our Qi, start getting our bones, our blood, all of that circulating again to enhance our flexibility, but in such a way that we come into the warmer month of March healthy and not likely to pull a back muscle or something like that, okay? So also remember that each Lunar New Year also reflects the energy of each specific zodiac animal and its associated element. In TCM, these energies can influence health and emotional tendencies for the year. So again, we have the wood snake, and that suggests introspection, flexibility, and transformation. Again, that qualities that align with the spring's renewal of energy. Energy of renewal, I should say. My apologies. All right. So again, I am coming to you guys from Northern Virginia. So in this area, TCM encourages specific practices to align with the body and mind. And here, because we do have the different seasons, right? We really do have a shift between the months, right? There is a change. It's not as temperament as it is, say, somewhere out west, right? So again, number one, for the spring, we want to detox the liver, right? So the liver governs the smooth flow of qi, and it's associated with spring. So eating green, detoxifying foods like sprouts and leafy vegetables can support this transition. We want to move stagnant qi or qi that was less moved during the winter, because again, yes, we had all these end of the year things we needed to do. We had holiday parties, family gatherings, but at the same time, a lot of us also weren't as active because it was colder. Some of us are more depressed with like the amount of darkness versus light. So we were more inward, we were more contracted. We didn't move as much, right? So the start of the year is an ideal time for movement practices, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, to stimulate energy and circulation. We want to maybe do more walking, even biking, right? Some gentle activities that start to get the blood pumping. And again, I said earlier, but set intentions just as nature begins to grow and show, setting positive intentions for health and wellness will mirror this upward energy of the spring. All right. So let's see what else we got. And finally, we want to harmonize with our family and community. Lunar New Year is a time to connect with loved ones, a practice that also harmonizes what we call emotional qi. Just basically makes us feel good and more whole again, right? So takeaway for 2025, as we embrace the year of the wood snake, let's focus on renewal, harmony, and health. By aligning with nature's cycles and practicing intentional self-care, we can make 2025 a year of personal growth and transformation. And guys, I just want to say I am wishing you a year filled with wisdom, renewal, and abundance. Hoping you guys have a vibrant and prosperous Lunar New Year. Again, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment in the link below on the YouTube page. I'm also going to be posting an article on my website, easternrootswellness.com, where you can find information about this, as well as some other tips and tricks for winter, late winter, early spring, spring. So again, remember, this is a time to release anything that no longer serves you. Let go. You don't need it. We want to make room for stuff that does serve us. So whether that's a new job or new emotions or new friends, those sorts of things, right? Time to release, shed your old skin, have new skin growing. To do that, we want to make sure that we start eating the right things, doing the right things, right? We want to make room for new projects, passions, transformations, forward action, up and out, right? Taking action, but with a strategy, with thought, with those sorts of things. And again, we want to be flexible, but we also want to be strong in what we do. And also just be observant of your environment, right? Again, like the snake, they're very observant of their environment. They're very clever. They're able to go with the flow. So with that said, I want to know, again, I want to wish you all a happy and prosperous new year. And then if you want, share how you're embracing the energy of the wood snake in the year of a 9. Guys, please let me know. My apologies if I kind of ran through that. Again, I try to make sure that everything was written out as clearly as possible. yet I also do things by the seat of my pants. So, hey, it is what it is. I like to do things as I truly am, and I hope I represent that. With that said, thank you again for watching if you did. But yeah, I hope 2025 is an amazing year for you. And again, remember, just because things start one way doesn't mean they're always going to end that way. So with that said, thank you so much.